We are live. Welcome to Travel Insights, powered by the leading travel and tourism daily news portal, TravelDailyNews.com International Edition. We are streaming live on our website, on YouTube, as well as on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you for tuning in wherever you're watching us from. I'm Chryssa Skodra, and in this interview series, I interview thought leaders, professionals, academics, and practitioners in the tourism, aviation, hospitality industries. And those people, they're sharing their unique insights with me and you out there listening, their unique expertise. Today, I have the great honor and a pleasure to welcome in the studio Mrs. Patricia Yates. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining me. You are the CEO of Visit Britain, Visit England. The Visit Britain is the national tourism agency that undertakes both the Britain-wide and also the England-specific actions to promote. So I would like to ask you. You are the best person today to open up today's topic. How is the UK tourism and Britain emerging strategically and dynamically into the post-COVID era? You are a journalist. You come from a journalistic background yourself. You're very outspoken. So let's just tackle this topic today. First of all, tell me a little bit about the importance of tourism as an industry in the economic growth and in the Britain's economy in general.
Well, inbound tourism pre-COVID was worth about £28 billion to the economy. Overall, including domestic, tourism is worth about £140 billion, employs over 3 million people, and of course delivers economic growth right across the country. So it is one of the industries that can deliver regional growth, and the more tourists that you come, the more people you need. So it's also a very quick creator of jobs, and we've seen that through previous economic crises.
And you mentioned before the COVID-19, what is the current situation and what are the priorities of Visit Britain, Visit England in the post-COVID era that we're now fortunately living? You have done also a lot of research that shows the perception of Britain post-pandemic. How have you built your strategy to address your priorities and how you're being perceived?
Well, I mean, tourism in Britain, as with every other country, absolutely shut down. It was one of the hardest hit industries, hit first, and came out of lockdown last. So tourism has seen a loss of about £50 billion over the last couple of years. So a long way to go to catch up. What we have seen in the last year is really strong recovery, particularly from our American market. Our American market is now worth more than it was pre-COVID. So thank goodness for Americans traveling. We have absolutely focused on getting value back as quickly as possible and getting sustainable growth and resilience in the industry. So in industry support and how we structure the industry in the UK. But the first thing is to get the demand side back and running. We've been focusing on that regionality that I've just talked about and seasonality, trying to extend the season in Britain because that increases the industry's productivity, which is one of our government's main drivers. And we focused at markets where we see the growth coming from. So our latest campaign, See Britain Differently, is about regional growth. And it's focusing on America, which I've just said is coming back really strongly, European markets, so France, Germany, and Spain, and the GCC, where obviously we have really good flight connectivity to the UK. So that focus on getting value back quickly as possible, supporting the industry, but also looking at building an industry that has strong regionality and extending the season.
Extending this to longer travel, you touched upon the major markets that you're focusing on. I was reading your inbound forecast for UK. What would be the major destinations you're promoting and you're focusing on this year?
Well, this year, I think it will still be America. I mean, America, we've seen good growth already, exceeding the value of pre-COVID, and that is forecast to continue. Actually, we've got a really robust forecast for this year. We think we'll be back to pre-COVID value by the end of the year, and about 86% of passenger numbers. So really good, strong growth coming. We see that from the US, from Europe, from GCC and the Middle East. I think the big question mark is over markets in Asia, particularly China. Now, pre-COVID, China was our second most valuable market. It's got a long way to go now because the infrastructure isn't there. So we're talking about by June that we might get about 49% of seat capacity. So that's airline capacity. And of course, the war in Ukraine means that European airlines are not overflying Russia, so it's a much longer journey for visitors to China. So there's an infrastructure build, and then there's the will people come. Now, we did a lot of research post-COVID to see where people were and what the appetite for travel was. And what we saw was a huge appetite for travel. There is pent-up demand. There is pent-up demand from China and a real desire to travel to Britain. So we need to get the infrastructure up and running. And then I think we will see that growth coming back from China, but a slower start than we're seeing in some of our other markets.
Mm-hmm. You touched upon the interest and the appetite growing around the world for visitors to come back to Britain to visit if they haven't, or to come again if they visited in the past. How about new experiences for today's travelers? There's a lot that is being written and lots of research that has been done. What is Visit Britain's unique proposition and offering this year? And also on top of that, I know that this is a remarkable year for Britain, a once in a lifetime opportunity. There's a lot of events, spotlight, hallmark events taking place. So what is unique this year? And if you touch upon a little bit on the unique events that you have going on.
Well, we know the global appeal of Britain is our history and heritage, and our culture overall. And the strength we have and the unique positioning of Britain is, yes, we have history and heritage, but we also have modern fashion, modern music, contemporary cuisine, so that we have that broad range of culture. The challenge for any destination that has history and heritage at its heart is you want to get visitors to come now, to come this year. So how do you get that sense of immediacy over and encourage people to travel now?
The sense of urgency.
That sense of urgency. Now,
Yeah.
we are lucky. We have a coronation this year. So what an opportunity to showcase Britain's history and heritage with a new and modern royal family. And then, of course, we have Eurovision. So
For the music lovers.
So for great stories of contemporary music and music cities. So a really great kickoff to the year. Those are both in May. And then, of course, we will be telling the story about our vibrant cities, our beautiful coastline, our green countryside, and the ease of getting round, and how welcoming Britain is. When you look at the international research, the three things people are looking for in international travel is value for money, welcome, and the ease of getting round. Now, we are a relatively small country if you're coming from America or China, with good public transport, so you can get very different experiences with very easy traveling. Our campaigns absolutely emphasize the welcome, and our latest campaign in Europe, which is Spill the Tea, which is whatever your cup of tea, we've got it. It's a really quirky British campaign that emphasises that British sense of humour. So if you haven't seen it, do have a look at it. I would absolutely. I think it's a break from what
the
we
website down
do.
below.
It's on the website. It's a break from how tourist boards normally advertise destinations. It's uniquely British. So I think telling that sense of immediacy and that British quirkiness is a really important part of our message.
And the well-known, infamous or famous British humor. So how about, I was asking you before about the major destinations, referring mainly to the regions as you're very diverse. So there's cities, regions, there is not only England, but there's Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland. There's a lot of things and a lot of destinations that visitors can also experience. So would you like to touch upon the diversity as well?
I mean, Britain is a country where you can have very different experiences in a very small travel time. So you can be in the centre of London, you can go up to Manchester, which is one of our university cities, and a great modern, vibrant city with good culture that you can wander around. You can go up to Edinburgh, which will host the Fringe in the
Fringe
August.
Festival.
Yes,
I
so
visited. Excellent experience.
it is just amazing.
Mhm.
And of course, outside, beautiful countryside, just wonderful lochs and valleys that you can walk for miles and really explore, and the smaller islands that you can visit. And see very traditional crafts in those islands. So an amazing experience. And then coming down Yorkshire, I'm a real fan of Yorkshire, beautiful coastline that is less discovered, if I could put it like that. And of course, the Dales, this time of year, full of daffodils and really pretty. And great for food lovers as well. So Wensleydale cheese, you have to go and see that being made. Beautiful countryside in the Lake District, where again the towns, centres of gastronomy, but you can also wander around and really lose yourself in the beautiful countryside. Wales has wonderful coastline walks. It's also really built a sort of adventure sport. So if you want to go fast boat riding near Anglesey, I've done that. Quite scary. And if you want to try zip wiring, then you can find that in Wales, as well as that really peaceful walking around the coastline, and of course, great regional food wherever you go. Cotswolds, I mean, many people will connect
So
that.
how many days do we have to book for such a trip?
Well, you have to come here for as long as you possibly can. I mean, that is something I think all tourist boards are talking about. So when you want to build a sustainable industry, how do you do that? You encourage people to come for longer and really get into that local lifestyle and understanding a local area, meeting local people, eating local food, supporting local businesses, so that tourism works for visitors, but it also works for residents and it works for tourism businesses. And that's really the sweet spot of tourism development, I would say.
Great. You touched upon sustainability. I wanted to ask you about the drivers currently in global tourism, sustainability being one, well-being, inclusion, accessibility. What is your take on those?
Well, accessibility, we've done a lot of work on, and we have an ambition to be the most accessible destination in Europe. So we give a lot of advice to businesses. We run an awards system that is very well supported, and really encouraging business to think about an aging population and different sorts of accessibility. So it's not just people in wheelchairs, and when we've done guides to autism and how you can cater to visitors who have very different needs. So accessibility, absolutely there. Sustainability is one of the areas that we can see growing interest in consumers. So if we're thinking about consumers and building a resilient industry, it needs to be sustainable too. So we are packaging our itineraries to showcase the sustainability product that we already have. And of course, we have beautiful walks and amazing countryside where you can really lose yourself, but also advising small businesses on how they can become more sustainable. And I think, tourism is an industry of small businesses, isn't it? So giving people advice on how you take the first step so it doesn't look quite so scary is an important part of a tourist board's role.
Great. And is there anything else, Patricia, on top of your mind before we close this interview that you would like to mention that we haven't touched upon?
I would just say, we are very focused on building back demand and that promotion to consumers. We won't do that without the support of the travel industry and the intermediaries. And I think COVID has demonstrated again how important it is to have tour operators, travel agents who are working with you, building programs to Britain and making sure that those aspirational and entertaining promotions that we are doing are really delivered and really sold. So as well as that consumer focus, we have really stepped up our business focus to making sure that we are doing key account management, that we're bringing buyers over to see the amazing product that we have and helping them increase their itineraries that they're selling to Britain, and working side by side with our business partners in markets. We have people covering 20 markets globally, and all of them are focused on working with their local travel trade.
Excellent. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia Yates, the CEO of Visit Britain, Visit England, was with me in the studio. Thank you, Patricia. Nice having you, sharing your insights and how the UK tourism is recovering fast and emerges dynamically. It's an important year for Britain. Lots of events already. There are signs of recovery, and I have on my to-visit list as well Britain for this summer as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We look forward to welcoming you. So do come visit, everyone.
Absolutely. With pleasure. So thank you so much for joining me. Bye for now. And thank you everybody for tuning in and listening. This is Travel Insights on TravelDailyNews.com. Stay tuned every Wednesday where you can watch interesting topics being analyzed by leading experts. And if you have your own insights to share, make sure you contact me. Here is the email below. Make sure you drop me a line, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.